Welcome everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to see you again in this module. The topic of today's module is applications of graphs in switching theory. So far we have dealt with theory part of graph theory, and this is the module which has been dedicated specifically to applications. Switching theory came into being with the publication of Paul Ehrenfest's paper in 1910, in which he suggested that Boolean algebra could be applied to automatic telephone exchanges. The first mathematical formulation of the behavior of a contact network, a particular type of switching network, was given by C. Shannon in 1938. Since 1938, switching theory has developed rapidly. Originally, it was intended to provide the communications engineer with tools for analysis and synthesis of large-scale relay switching networks such as telephone exchange. In recent years, however, the enormous growth of switching theory has been mainly motivated by its use in the design of digital computers. Unlike the signals in classical electrical network, say in a radio receiver, switching network signals have only two values designated as 0 and 1. Switching networks are designed to process and store such binary signals. A switching network can be classified as either as a combinational network or sequential network. We will see about combinational switching network first. A combinational switching network is one whose output at a given time depends only on the input at that time. We will see the definition of sequential switching network. A sequential switching network is one whose output at a given time is a function of the input at that time and during its entire past history. In other words, a sequential network has memory, whereas a combinational network does not. All digital systems, from the largest multi-million-dollar computer to the smallest disk calculator, are constructed from these two basic types of circulatory combinational and sequential. A combinational switching network can further be classified as a contact network or a gate network. A relay contact or a contact can be thought of as an ordinary household switch used for controlling the light. It is a two-terminal device having two states. In the open state, there is no conductive path between the terminals. In the closed state, there exists a path that will allow the electric current to flow in either direction. Thus, a contact is a bilateral device. A contact network is a network of interconnected contacts. Every contact network can be represented by a graph in which the edges are the contacts and vertices are the terminals. We will see about contact network. A contact network is an undirected connected graph G with no self loops in which each edge has a binary variable xi associated with it, which can assume only two values, either 1 or 0. The binary variable xi assigned to a contact is 1 when the contact is closed, and that is equal to 0 when the contact is open. We will see some figures, that is symbols used to represent contacts is on the screen. The input-output behavior of a contact network is usually expressed in the form of functions. Maybe fi of x1, x2, etc. xk of the binary variables. Such a function fi is called a switching or Boolean function and must itself assume a value of 0 or 1. Let us talk about Boolean algebra. A Boolean algebra consists of a finite set x1, x2, etc. xk, where k is finite, and two binary operations plus called Boolean addition and dot called Boolean multiplication, satisfying the postulates. That is, the first one is either xi is equal to 1 or xi is equal to 0. Second one, for every xi there exists another variable xi dash which is called as the complement of xi, such that if xi is equal to 0, then xi dash should be equal to 1, and if xi is equal to 1, then xi dash should be equal to 0. And the third one, we are defining sum here, and sum xi plus xj is equal to 0 if xi as well as xj is equal to 0, and that the value is equal to 1 otherwise. Product xi xj is equal to 1 if xi xj is equal to 1 and that is equal to 0 otherwise. With these simple postulates, a number of interesting results can be derived, which are very useful in the simplification of switching expressions. For example, it can be easily shown that xi plus xi xj is equal to xi. In contact networks, one encounters two types of problems, the problem of analysis and the problem of synthesis. In analysis, contact network G will be given and the conditions under which there will be an electrically conducting path between a pair of vertices Va, Vj in G will be found. In synthesis, a network has to be designed meeting the given requirements. As we discussed earlier, in switching network, that is in contact network, there are two things that is need to be done. One is analysis of that, another one is synthesis of that. So here we'll first recall the definition of contact networks. A contact network is an undirected connected graph with no loops in it, and in each edge in that network has a specific value, that is either 0 or 1. It takes Boolean value 0 or 1. So let us look something about Boolean algebra. Here I told you, in a contact network, if this is an edge and this edge will take either 0 or 1, let it be xi or x1. This x1 may be equal to 0 or it will be equal to 1. And here we are going to define its complement as well as its sum and product of the edges, the value of the edges. That is Boolean sum and Boolean product. Okay, if xi is equal to 0, then its complement is denoted by xi dash, that value will be equal to 1. And these we discussed already. And if xi is equal to 1, then again its complement is denoted by xi dash, that is equal to 0. So this is how we define a complement, and we assured that if there exists an xi, there should exist its complement xi dash here. And then we define Boolean sum as, for example, if xi plus xj, and I told you earlier either xi can take either 0 or 1, similarly xj can take either 0 or 1, and we define the Boolean sum to be xi plus xj, that is equal to 0 if both, if xi and xj is equal to 0 and that is equal to 1 otherwise. Which means if xi is equal to 1 and xj is also 1, then our sum is also 1. It is not 2, here we are dealing with Boolean algebra, so 1 plus 1 is not 2 here, it is again 1. And we define product and we call that product as Boolean product, that is xi dot xj is defined to be 1 if both xi and xj is equal to 1 and that is equal to 0 otherwise. So here we define a product and we call that as a Boolean product, and the product is equal to 1 if both the values are equal to 1 and that is equal to 0 otherwise. So this is how we define a contact network, and we also learned about Boolean algebra here, and we will analyze some network, that is some contact network here. Right now I am having a contact network which consists of 4 vertices and 6 contacts, that is 6 edges, and I labeled all the edges actually with their value x1, x2, x3, x1 dash, x2 dash, x3 dash, and here we assume the value to be x1 is equal to x2, that is equal to x3 equal to 1, and its complement, obviously if all these values are equal to 1, then of course its complement is equal to 0. So here I am having a contact network and with the values xi, where xi can take either 0 or 1. Here I assumed all the xi is equal to 1 and obviously xi complement is equal to 0 here. And what I am going to do is I am going to find the electrical connection or conductivity from the node A or vertex A to the vertex B. For this, I have to enumerate all the possible paths that exist between A to B. So here I list down all the paths that exist from A to B. You can see x1 dash, x3 dash. So you can see this path A to C through x1 dash and this x3 dash. So I list down all the values of those paths x1 dash, x3 dash and x2, x3 dash, that is from here x2 I'm sorry, this is x2 dashed, x3 dashed. This is x2 dash, x3 dash from A to this path, and then again by using this path, and x1, x2 from this we are traversing from A to B, and x1, x3, x3 dash. Can you see here x1, x3, x3 dash, this is also another path, and x2 maybe x2 dashed, x3, x2, x3 dashed. This is all another such path, and I repeat again, x2 dashed, x3, x2, this is another path, x2 dashed, x3, x2, and then we have one another path, that is x1 dashed, x3, x2. So here I listed down all the paths that exist between A to B. The first step is you have to enumerate all the possible paths between the nodes that you consider here. So the next step, I am going to write a function, and I am going to denote that function by FAB, and FAB will be the Boolean sum of all the products that we have right now. Okay, so I am going to denote that function by FAB. This is nothing but the Boolean sum of all the products of paths. So here I am having all the paths, right, that is values of the corresponding edges. I am going to find this product, and then I am going to sum it up, that is again with respect to Boolean. So here this is x1 dashed, x3 dashed, this is first path, plus x2 dashed, x3 dashed, plus x1, x2, plus x1, x3, x3 dashed, plus x2, x3, again from x2, x3 and x2 dashed, I think, S, and then plus x1 dashed, x3, x2. Okay, fine. So this is a function that tells me that gives me the value from between the electric conduction from the node A to node B. So this is x1 dash, x3 dash plus x2 dash, x3 dash plus x1, x2 plus x1, x3, x3 dash plus x2, x3, x2 dash plus x1 dash, x3, x2. And my ultimate aim is to find the value of this FAB. So what happens if this FAB is equal to 1, which means there is a electrical connection between A and B, and that is equal to 0, which means there is no flow of electric current from A to B. So I am interested in finding the value of FAB. So in order to find the value of FAB, I have to be very careful with the values of all the individual sums here, individual products. So first look at the products here. For example, I am going to consider the first one, x1 dash, x3 dash, and it is evident that if any one of the value here is 0, obviously the product will be equal to 0. So x1 dash, x3 dash, here we assume the values as 0, which means the first value is equal to 0. And I want to consider this also, this term x1, x3, x3 dash, whatever the value of x1, x3 may be, this product will always results in 0, because we are multiplying a number by its complement, right? 0 and 1 obviously results in a 0. So like that I am going to find all the values of the products here. x2 dash, x3 dash will also give me 0, and x1, x2, x1 is 1, x2 is also 1, according to the Boolean product the value is 1. And we have this as 0, this as 0, this as 1, and this already told you this is 0 with whatever the value of x1, x3, x3 dash may be. And what about this? This is also 0, right? Because we have x2 as well as x2 dash. We are multiplying a number and its complement with respect to Boolean. So this is also 0, and this is again 0. x1 dashed, x3, x2. So that is again 0. So here we found out all the products here, and the next step is you have to find the Boolean sum, that is 0 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. The answer is 1, which means FAB here is 1. And as we discussed earlier, if this value is equal to 1, and that is a flow of connection, electric current from A to B, and like that we have to find f, the function for each and every vertices here. So look at the diagram again. So here we found the connection between A to B. Like that we have to find the function from function for all the vertices, all the possible pair of vertices from A, C, A, D and A, S, A, B and B, D, B, C, and every possible pair of vertices we have to find. And I'm going to put all these entries in a matrix and I'm going to call that matrix as transmission matrix. Of course, it will be a n by n matrix. If I'm having only 4 vertices as in the example that I'm having now, my matrix would be 4 by 4 matrix and each entry represents the flow of current. It may be either 0 or 1. If it is 0, then there is no flow. If it is 1, there is a flow. And actually we noted here, this is not a directed graph, it is an undirected graph, and according to the definition of contact networks also we are having undirected graph, which means whenever there is a flow between A to B, it is also clear that there is a flow from B to A also. So the matrix that I am going to get is, it will be a symmetric matrix. So for this example that I consider here, let us find the transmission matrix. Okay, so this is the transmission matrix that I have written here. First we will discuss about A to B and then we will go on to find the rest of the entries. And here we assume the diagonal entries, that is Tii is equal to 1, and here we assume that if there is a current flow in the particular node, there should be current flow to that node also, that is diagonal entries we are going to take that as 1. So all the diagonal entries, that is A to A is 1, B to B is 1, C to C is 1, D to D is again 1. So all the diagonal entries will be equal to 1, and just now we found the value of FAB, that is equal to 1. So if FAB is equal to 1, then of course FBA is also equal to 1. So this is a symmetric matrix. So this part we filled and this we found out, and this is also we found out. So the rest we have to find. So we have to find FAC and FAD. So without listing down all the steps, we will directly find from the diagram itself. Okay. So we have to find FAC, right? So AC. So for that we have to again list down all the possible paths between A to C, and then you have to find the FAB, which is the Boolean sum of the Boolean products. So here I'm not going to write that steps again, just follow. So from A to C there are number of paths. I am going to locate a path which does not include complement, because here I have assumed all the x1, x2, x3 to be 1. So here I am going to look the paths which does not involve any complement. So from A to C I am having a path x1, x3, right? So x1, x3, which means the product will be equal to 1. So if at least one of the paths, the value of the path is equal to 1, then the corresponding function is also equal to 1. So since there exists a path x1, x3 which does not involve any complement from A to C, my FAC is equal to 1 here. So FAC is equal to 1. And similarly I am going to find a path from A to D. So here I have, of course I am having a path that is x1, again the value is equal to 1. So FAD is also equal to 1. And we will find BC also, BC and BD. So consider BC, so I have to locate the path that does not involve its complement. So here B to C, I can go like this, B to this through this x2, x3. So that exists such path, which means the value is going to be 1 again, and FBC is equal to 1, and FBD is also equal to 1, because x2 is here, no? So also is equal to 1. Okay, so with respect to this condition, x1 is equal to x2 is equal to x3 is equal to 1, I am getting the connection, that flow of connection between all the pairs of vertices, and my transmission matrix will be a matrix that is with all the entries as 1. You can look here, this is my transmission matrix. I told you it's a 4 by 4 matrix, and this is a symmetric matrix with all the entries as 1. So for this example we are getting a symmetric matrix. If I change some of the context, I may get another transmission matrix. This is how we analyze a contact network. If a function FAB is written as a sum of products of individual paths, then we call that form as normal form. The form that we discussed, that is FAB, is normal form. Let's talk about primitive connection matrix. The primitive connection matrix Q is the matrix Qij of an n vertex contact network G, is an n by n matrix whose elements Qij are defined as Qii is equal to 1 for all I, Qij is equal to 0 if vertices I and j are not directly joined by contact, otherwise Qij is equal to Boolean sum of the variables associated with all edges directly joining vertices I and j. The primitive connection matrices for the contact networks for the figure that we discussed are given in the screen. The primitive connection matrix is also symmetric and it contains the complete information about a contact network. Let q power k be the kth Boolean power of q, that is q multiplied by itself k times using the rules of Boolean algebra for some positive integer k. Each entry in q power k can be simplified using the Boolean algebra properties that x plus 1 is equal to x plus x dash, that is equal to 1, x dash is equal to 0, x plus x is equal to xx, that is equal to x plus xy, that is equal to x. Then examine the ijth entry in the simplified q power k. It will lead to trace all h sequences of length 1, 2, etc. k between the vertices I and j, and by employing the simplification process eliminate all redundancies including that of going over the same edge more than once, that is xx is equal to x, and going over the same vertex more than once, x plus xy, that is equal to x. Thus, the ijth entry in matrix q power k represents all paths of length k or less between vertices I and j. Since in an n vertex graph, the longest path is of length n minus 1. Let us talk about synthesis of contact networks. Designing a network from a given requirements is a general problem of network synthesis. Assume that the requirements of the contact network to be designed are given in the form of switching functions. If they are given in any other form, they can be converted into switching functions. Also assume that the switching are given in normal form, that is as a Boolean sum of products. Let us talk about two terminal contact networks. In a two terminal synthesis, only one switching function f of x1, x2, etc. xm of m variables will be given in normal form, and the network has to be designed that realizes this function as the transmission between two of its vertices. This problem is trivial if the number of contacts is not economist, because any switching function in a natural form can be realized by a sufficiently large number of contacts. But such an extravagant realization is usually not acceptable. A realization to be useful should contain as few contacts as possible. It is this requirement that makes the synthesis problem difficult. For example, there are shown 3 of many possible realization of a very simple switching function with only 5 variables. The figure is on the screen. The simplest among the 3 networks that we see here is the one that is the middle part, that is figure 4b. The problem of finding a contact network that realizes an arbitrary switching function with the minimum number of contacts has not been solved yet, except by exhaustive enumeration, and is not likely to be solved in the near future. Whenever a restricted type of switching network called single contact network is considered, the problem becomes manageable. Let us talk about single contact or SC network. A contact network in which every binary variable xi, either in uncomplemented or complemented form, is associated with only one edge is called a single contact or SC network. Thus, each contact in an SC network can be opened or closed independently. So, for example, the network which was given in the figure 3 is an SC network that we discussed already in the figure, but those in figures 2 and 4 are not. Any transmission that can be realized by an SC network is called a single contact function or SC function. Since in an SC network a variable appears only once, it is not possible to simplify the sum of its path products any further. The type of simplification performed on expression 2 to produce expression 3. In other words, an SC function contains no redundant terms. Every product term represents a distinct path between the specified terminals, and every literal in a product term corresponds to a distinct edge in the path. For example, switching function f is equal to x1 x2 plus x2 x3 dashed plus x1 dash, x2, x4 is not an SC function. Let us see about incidence matrix. The incidence matrix defined as an n by E matrix A, that is matrix Aij, where the rows correspond to the vertices and the columns correspond to the edges, and the entries of the matrices are given by Aij is equal to 1 if jth edge Ej is incident on the ith vertex Vi and 1 otherwise. Let us see about circuit matrix. If the number of distinct circuits in a graph G is Q and the number of edges in G is E, then a circuit matrix B, that is a matrix Bij of G, is a Q by E matrix, that is 0, it will take either 0 or 1 matrix, defined as follows. Bij is equal to 1 if ith circuit includes jth edge and 0 otherwise. So, cut set matrix is denoted by C, that is a matrix Cij, where the rows correspond to the cut sets and the columns to the edges of the graph, and the entries of the matrix are given by Cij is equal to 1 if ith cut set contains jth edge and 1 otherwise. So, let us see about fundamental cut set matrix. A fundamental cut set matrix Cf of a connected graph G with E edges and n vertices is an n minus 1 by E submatrix of C, where the rows correspond to the set of fundamental cut sets with respect to some spanning tree. A fundamental cut set Cf can be portioned into two submatrices, one of which is an identity matrix I n minus 1 of order n minus 1. That is, Cf is equal to the matrix, the first portion is Cc and the second portion is I n minus 1, where the last n minus 1 columns forming the identity matrix correspond to the n minus 1 branches of the spanning tree, and the first E minus n plus 1 columns forming Cc correspond to the chords. Let us see about path matrix. A path matrix is defined for a specific pair of vertices in a graph, say x comma y, and is written as P of x comma y. The rows in P of x comma y correspond to different paths between vertices x and y, and the columns correspond to the edges in G. That is, the path matrix for x comma y vertices is P of x comma y, that is denoted by the matrix Pij, where Pij is equal to 1 if jth edge lies in ith path and 0 otherwise. So, realization of an SC function, a switching function FAB has to be simplified as an SC function. Then, every path between vertices A and B in the network can be identified to design. The following procedure shows how to design an SC network for an SC switching function. The network is unique up to 2 isomorphism. This is because the set of all paths between a pair of vertices specifies a graph uniquely within 2 isomorphism. Algorithm for realizing a given SC function of m variables x1, x2, etc. xm is given here. We will deal now. The steps are listed here. The step 1, it is first step, from FAB obtain the path matrix PAB with respect to the vertex pair A comma B. Next step, that is step 2, append a column of all ones to P of A comma B. This implies the addition of an edge with associated variable say x naught between A and B, and thus converting every path into a circuit. Let the resulting circuit matrix be denoted as B. Step 3, use Jordan's method of elimination mod 2 to eliminate all dependent rows in B. Rearrange the resulting fundamental circuit matrix BF into the standard form. BF is equal to the matrix which consists of 2 portions. The first one is I, the second one is the matrix BT. Step 4, from BF obtain the fundamental cut set matrix CF given by CF is equal to, again this is a portioned matrix. The first portion is CC, next portion is IN minus 1, and that is also equal to the matrix. The first portion is BT transpose and the next portion is IN minus 1. Step 5, from CF obtain AF, the reduced incidence matrix, by appropriately performing modulo 2 sums of rows in CF. This corresponds to obtaining a non-singular transformation matrix, or such that AF is equal to R dot CF, where AF has at most 2 ones in each column. In step 5, we are essentially taking different ring sums of fundamental cut sets so that they produce sets of edges incident at each vertex. This is the most laborious step in the entire procedure and becomes prohibitive for large graphs. Step 6. Form the incidence matrix A by adding the missing row to AF so that each column has exactly 2 ones. From matrix A, draw the graph and remove Hx naught. Conclusion. Dear learners, now we are at the end of this session. In this session, we have thrown some light on applications of graph theory, that is, we discussed the application that is switching networks today, and we discussed some concept, that is we actually gave overview of switching networks, and we have seen about transmission matrix, and we dealt that with an example, and I firmly believe this will give you some hope that the concepts, that is theory that we studied, has real life applications. I would encourage you to do some quizzes and assignments which is given in the module. We will see again. Thank you.